Hello, everybody. Today, Magda Connects is having lunch with Celestine Andersen. Celestine is based in Denmark. I welcome you, Celestine, to this wonderful interview with Tantra.
Thank you so much for inviting me into this space. And it's so beautiful how we can connect, sitting in different countries and still being able to be close. So thank you very much.
I thank you. And I think the connection is everything. And I love to connect from any place of this planet. And I'm very happy when people are on the same wave. And I have never met you personally. I found you through a friend. And my main aim was to understand more the topic of Tantra. And when I was started looking for a Tantra specialist, I bumped into you, and you were the first person. And I said, wow, thank you, universe. I want to talk to you. And you were so open to join the community of Magda Connects. And I thank you for this. And Celestine, I'm really green in the topic of Tantra, and the questions I will ask with all my open heart maybe will help people who will listen to this interview today, tomorrow, after tomorrow, to understand the topic of Tantra better, to apply it in their life, to improve their life, because I would like to know, after talking to you, what does Tantra mean, how it changes my life, what it can do to me. And you are working with this topic on daily basis. So if you could tell us what Tantra is and what it brings you into Tantra, and what does Tantra therapist do? If you could share your story in the beginning, I would be very thankful.
Yeah, sure, of course. Yeah, so Tantra became so popular, like not just in Denmark, but like worldwide, like now. And I started with Tantra 20 years ago. And back then, nobody, including me, didn't really know what this was about. And people thought like, are you doing something crazy? Are you in a sect? And I was doing a lot of yoga, and even that was like very exotic here in Copenhagen in Denmark. So I was very curious as a teenager to grow spiritually and personally. So I was like searching a lot for answers of finding the meaning of my life. And then I started in this Tantra yoga school in Copenhagen, and it changed my world and it changed my life completely. And of course, back then I didn't really understand or know what is this, but it affected me so deeply to feel myself better. So I actually felt very quickly that I found home, like in me. I found me through yoga and Tantra. And just to give you like a kind of short introduction or understanding what Tantra is and can be, then it's a whole path of living your life to the fullest. This is like the short way to say it. Tantra is a way of living to find the balance between living a material and a spiritual life. Like Tantra is a kind of spiritual and sensual way of living. You can say a spiritual path, but it's a path that includes everything in life. Like so many spiritual or religious way of living is trying to take you away from life. Like don't have sex, don't have desires, not wanting money, or like not wanting an ego even, or a individuality, but like let's just become one big spirit or one big community and sacrifice what is you in a way. And the beauty of the way of living with Tantra is that it includes everything. You can live a full normal life, let's say, with a job, a career, with a family, with personal desires of expressing yourself sexually, creatively, like in all kind of ways, but you do it with a kind of conscious or spiritual purpose. And this for me was like so unique and I was very drawn into this. Like you don't have to cut away parts of yourself in order to belong or in order to grow as a spiritual human being. So, in a short way of saying, Tantra is the balance between the highest and the lowest, between light and darkness, masculinity, femininity. Tantra is the path of including everything that life has to offer in a conscious way. So instead of just indulging yourself in pleasures or desires, or let's say ego status, I want to become famous or rich or popular or whatever, you dedicate everything in your life in a conscious matter. So it has to make sense from the heart and from your highest consciousness, everything that you do. And then everything becomes so alive, so magic. Brushing your teeth, cooking, going to the bathroom, going to work, because it's full of presence and it's full of sensuality. Like you feel everything super intense because you're conscious in what you're doing. So everything can become a path, actually. You just put awareness into what you're doing already. This is, for me, maybe the simplest way to explain what Tantra also is.
It's a beautiful explanation. So next time when I will brush my teeth, I will try to do it sensually.
Yeah.
I do yoga. I'm thinking now of yoga. When you mention to be conscious, to be aware, when we do yoga, we learn to be more conscious and aware. I was not aware that Tantra is also including this aspect. How much time did it take you to learn about Tantra? You said you went to school. How much time does it take to become a
think
therapist?
I mean, you can learn Tantra in different kind of ways. Like in the beginning, I was just like a Tantra and yoga student, and became a yoga and a Tantra teacher. Then I became a Tantra masseuse to give body work, and then I became psychotherapist and couples therapist, and I kind of put everything together. So today I label myself as a Tantra therapist. I started 20 years ago. I was only 18 at the time. And I would say, if you really want to dedicate your life, or at least to study intensely Tantra, it varies how long time does this take. Because it depends how open you are, how ready you are. Like I was so young, right? I was a teenager and I just dived completely into this. I dedicated my life to this and moved to India when I was 19, just living in an ashram, doing spiritual practice and energy work 8 hours a day, like for a long, long time. So very quickly, I learned to feel effects like in my body and in my mind and my spirit. It
So
doesn't have to take 5 or 10 or 20 years. I think like if you really dedicate yourself to be curious and to study and to practice Tantra, I would say even in half a year you will have a good feeling of what this can offer you.
So it means that you were actually very curious in the topic, and you were driven by some higher intention to change something in your life because you were missing something, you wanted to improve something, and this is why you connected to Tantra?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. I really felt something was missing, and I didn't want to just have a normal life. Like the education that was driving me was the self-development. Like I would rather really get to know myself and to know the purpose of my life before I could choose the proper education and what do I want with my life. So you can say my job or my career became to find the meaning, kind of. Yeah.
What is the origin of Tantra? Does it come from India or any other place on the planet Earth?
Yeah. So there are different directions of Tantra, and one main tradition is definitely from India, and it's like minimum 4,000 years old. So most of Tantra comes from the East. There are some directions more like from China, the Tao Tantric tradition, but the classic Tantra tradition is from India, and it's very connected with the Sanskrit written language, and it's not per se Hinduistic, but there are some Hinduistic traditions like some goddesses and some temples which are also intertwined in Tantra. So they kind of work together. But Tantra as such is not a religion. So it's free from any dogma or race or part of the world. It's like a life you can choose no matter who you are.
I'm very happy to hear that, because nowadays so many people are stuck in the system, and so many people are looking for freedom. And I hope that people who hear us now will be able to understand it and maybe make some choices after this interview. Can you tell me, Celestine, if Tantra is more connected to the body or the soul or the spirit or the heart or all together? Where do we put Tantra in us? Where is it located?
Yeah. So Tantra is a way of including your entire body, heart, and spirit. It's a very holistic way of living. And I think there is a main misunderstanding nowadays is that Tantra is about sex and very much about the body, and it's about getting a beautiful body or only working on sexual energy and so on. And this is a big misunderstanding, because Tantra is about living a full life that, of course, includes sexuality, but it's maybe maximum 10% of all that Tantra is. So, of course, it's a part of it, but it's very it's extra, and it's more the view on how you can use your sexual energy to enhance your health, your body, your energy, your mind and spirit, more that believing that sex is like the goal. So every sexual practice in Tantra is a tool to obtain growth, higher consciousness. So it's like sex is not the purpose, it's a mean to grow. And this is a general misunderstanding that I think is very good to clarify. Like, people think, okay, let me take all kind of naughty sexual kinky courses and be very orgastic and so on. And yes, that's great, but it's not the goal. It's just like a tool. And the goal is actually more the growth and to become whole as a person.
I'm very happy you clarify it, because I indeed believe there is this misunderstanding. And sometimes when we think about sexuality or sex, it can take our energy and focus away. And I have a feeling Tantra is giving us energy, and it let us grow inside of us and be better people, more conscious and kinder to each other, and generate more love. I have this feeling, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I think your feeling is right. After doing it with myself in my life, I feel it's right.
and you know, I never went to any Tantra workshop, or the only thing, guys, I show you now, ta-da! It's like, I found this DVD. I think I bought like 20 years ago. I will not show everything here, but I discovered it on my shelf, and I said, it's about Tantra and discovering yourself. And I thought, oh, thank you, thank you. So it means I was interested like 20 years ago about this, but something was stopping me from getting closer to it. And I'm very happy we have this chat today. What do you think has changed in you? Because when you experience Tantra as a therapist, and you're also learning Tantra, you are doing Tantra, there must be some change in your body, in your sexuality, in your sensuality, for better. Could you name the aspects of improvement?
Sure. So in the beginning, the first few years, it was more like a personal practice. Yeah, I didn't know when I was like 18 and beginning of 20s that this was going to be my profession. So the first changes for me was like an awakening of my presence and of my inner contact with my body. Like it was a feeling of waking up totally. Like my heart, I felt so touched. I felt so connected with life and with people, and I felt so connected with myself. Like the more I meditated, the more I did energy work and breathing exercises and all these like yogic and tantric exercises, I felt I could feel myself better, like my deep wantings, the truth inside myself, plus this connecting outwards. So it gave me like a inner connection and a outer connection to the world. Um, Sensing things much deeper, just walking down the street and you feel the wind and you see the nature or you see people and city life and everything. I just felt like my heart opening so much. So you could say I even fell in love with life, but also in love with my own life. So this was one of the first like changes that my heart really, really opened, and my sensing experience of being like, oh my God, my body is waking up, and everything became much more sensitive and ecstatic. So all these things that we just do by nature, like breathing, became like a deep, sensual, devoted, beautiful experience. Like, oh my God, I'm alive. You can feel the breathing going in and out like a dance, like an ecstatic movement in my body. And we do this every day, even when we sleep, like completely unaware, but it's the most beautiful thing. It's like a love declaration that we breathe.
Wow.
We just do. So I had so many like magic moments, just riding my bike, feeling the wind and speaking with people, looking people in the eyes. And suddenly it's like, oh my God, you see the soul in the eyes and you feel your own soul. So everything changed in my life. Maybe not on the outer at first, like I didn't look different, but I felt everything different completely.
So how
Yeah.
much time do we need to get this feeling, like 1 2 years of everyday practice?
That change for me came in weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. Even my first free trying lesson, just showing up, being very young, let's just try these exercises. I almost fainted because I became so nauseous and sick from doing the exercise. I had to sit down, everything was spinning around. And then when I walked home after that class, I felt completely cleansed, clarified, and I felt like, oh my God, I'm home. Like I felt like I was home suddenly in my body.
Mhm.
Um, I think the more open you are, the deeper you feel things quicker. Like when you're very young, you're not so polluted from eating and drinking and smoking and living a stressed life. So, of course, I was super sensitive. Um, but even some people, they show up and try either a tantra massage or a tantra class or coming to have a therapy session, and they can be 50s or in their 60s, and they can also be lucky and feel things very deep. So I think it's more a matter of, are you ready? Like, can you dare to just open yourself and let go of all your preconceived ideas of the world and yourself, and just like allow yourself to feel and see what happens.
It's so
So
wonderful.
yeah, for me, it was like the motorway sensation. Like, oh my God, like suddenly you just wake up and you feel God and life and everything.
Oh, I'm like a magnet. I want it. I want to experience it. So, can you explain to me? You went through some exercises, you went through breathing, yoga, energy work. So, could you explain to us what exactly it was? What exercises we need to consider?
Mm. I think the simple way to begin with, if you're like, okay, I want to know what Tantra is, how do I begin? I would say now that the fastest way is to get a Tantra massage, because for a long period I was like a yoga and a tantra teacher. People would stand on their yoga mat. I would make exercises with them for 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, and you can get inspired and maybe you feel something in your body when you do these exercises. But it's so much faster to learn these things if you get the experience from somebody who already mastered the experience. So for instance, when I offer tantra massages, I can deliver that feeling, that kind of connection and ecstasy in the receiver's body. So that's the fast way of doing it. Like if I would touch you now you're far away, Magda, but if I would put my hands on your face and on your heart and just like breathe it in, I could give you that sensation, which would be much quicker than me sitting here guiding all the audience of like, let's breathe together and put a hand on your heart and your womb. Or, there's many ways of learning Tantra, but the fast way is, of course, to be connected with a human being who already knows the way, kind of. Find a lover, and then it will go very quick.
Yeah, guys. Yeah, guys. Here we go. But if you don't have a lover, what about you as a person? Can you be, because like, can you experience it yourself, like without a lover? I mean, if you practice tantra, with time, maybe there are many people who live alone. In lockdown, people were not able to connect to each other. So even to go to a tantra massage, I'm asking myself, oh my God, and you want to experience tantra yourself? Is it possible to go through this practice alone?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a single now, and in periods of time, like I either have a partner and right now not. So of course you can do these things on your own. Like in the end, Tantra is about energy work. So yes, the fast way is to make love or to get a tantra massage or to be experienced. But if you don't have this because you're single or it's lockdown or whatever, you can do certain exercises like of meditation and breathing awareness, and you can start having glimpses of this state of connection and ecstasy. Uh, it might take longer time because it can be more slow sometimes to do these things alone, or if you do it as a meditation, your mind can disturb you, or you can become tired, or if you have a stress day at work, maybe it's not so easy to just switch and say, okay, now let me be super present, because your mind is just like spinning around. But definitely it is possible. And the simple practice to do this alone is to become aware of your senses. So you make your everyday life into a meditation practice. Like when you brush your teeth, when you eat, do it in slow motion and try to focus on only that action that you're doing right now. So we can even experiment it right now, like us talking or people are listening. Just try to do it slower, like keep pauses when you speak.
I have goosebumps. I have goosebumps all over my body.
It's like every moment is a chance to be present in a sensual and loving way. So, like, I have a glass of water here, and I can do it very unconsciously while I talk with you, like I'm thirsty, or I can look at the glass as as if this is the most beloved item. Like, I can look at the water as my lover, like, oh my God, I'm gonna drink this water now, and I love it. And if I do it slower than my normal tempo, it already forces me, or it invites me to become present. And if I do it with love, it will become a very dear, sensual experience that is a chance to kind of wake up or to have a beautiful moment. This is Tantra. So it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be years of practice, or you have to have a lover, or you don't need even an active sex life. You can just make love with your water.
And I want to see a picture of water you drink now. There is this famous Japanese photographer who took picture of water, frozen water in, I think in Japan, and the pictures where you say to water, I love you, you are great, you are wonderful, are so beautiful. And then when you say really bad words and everything is so negative, the water is so sad. So this, what you say, is incredibly beautiful. I think that nowadays when people try to make their targets and goals, and they are rushing from one place to another because it started already, and they feel so full of anger and agitation, it's a big challenge for those people to say, okay, I will now drink slowly my water. It will be a beloved water to me. And I have a feeling it's a question of choice, and say, okay, I want to be on my tantric experience, and I will do anything slowly. I will slow down. Is it about making a choice?
Partly, I would say it's a choice. Um, I think it's also a matter of kind of becoming aware that it's even a choice. I think some people don't even stop and realize that they have a choice because life is just spinning. And as a human being, many of us have habits. So if we don't at some point stop and reflect, like, am I deeply happy? Am I fulfilled with my life, or do I need to make changes? We will just continue. Like, even if we're unhappy at our work, in our relationships, we can have shame or anger towards our body, or like, people are so full of either criticism towards themselves or towards others, like, but without stopping and realizing they can change. Like, so I think the first step is to kind of wake up in a way, like at least for a glimpse of like something is not right here. And that moment came for me very young. I was deeply insatisfied, like, with my life. I felt this is not enough. There must be more. I want it to be more. Like, and then I started digging and searching for answers, and I bumped into this tantra door, like looking in, like, is this maybe something? um, yeah. So I would wish that everybody on this planet would allow themselves to kind of reflect and make a deep self-inquiry, like, what do I want to change in my life? Because it is possible to have more energy, more happiness, more fulfillment, and not necessarily because of outer circumstances. Because this is a trap, like, oh, I don't have the perfect husband or wife, like, I'm too fat, or I don't earn enough money, or I'm not satisfied with my home or my job. Like, this is a trap, because everything can become a deep practice of love and awareness. Like, you just start where you are right now. Like, everything you have around you right now is a practice, because you have a body, and the body has five senses. So all these are five gates to awaken. You listen to music, and you can either do it unconsciously, like, oh, it's a nice party and we drink beer and we just, it's nice. Or you can close your eyes and you can go into that music deeply and just feel, wow, what is this music doing to me right now? Like, what do I feel? What do I sense? So your ears is like a invitation to go deeply inwards. And the same with what you see, what you taste, what you feel, what you smell. So in Tantra, the five senses are a big thing. It's like a practice. You just try to do it consciously. Yeah.
So, for instance, if somebody is on drugs or drank a bit more of alcohol, it's not anymore a conscious practice. So we cannot call it tantra. Am I right?
Yeah, like, if you use it until like the degree where you diminish your consciousness, then you'll kind of lose the experience. And it doesn't actually matter if it's food or drugs or alcohol or cigarettes, or like everything can either be like something that opens you and wakes you up, or something that puts you down. So it's all about the balance. Like everything can become a practice. But some things kind of makes us smaller or less conscious. Yeah.
There are so many people, I think, especially women, who are not loving their body. They feel ashamed. And I think there are different reasons, even trauma reasons, some depressions, call it all. I'm asking myself where to start in order to love, respect, cherish your body on daily basis. Is there any way we can do it?
Yeah. I think the fastest way is to shift from looking at yourself and instead feeling yourself. So our critic sense comes from the mind, what we think. And it's like we look at ourselves like, oh, is it pretty? Is it nice? And you compare yourself to other people. So it's everything that we think about ourselves, and it's the way we look upon ourselves. But the feeling of your body is not necessarily worse if you have 5 kilos more or less. Like if you're 20 or if you're 40, if you have wrinkles or not. The feeling of the body can be deeply pleasurable and ecstatic. So I think the swift or the change, especially in the women, is to start feeling yourself more and stop thinking upon yourself. Like we are so busy about looking nice, looking young, looking slim, that we forget to feel like, okay, how does it actually feel right now? You can make a little 1 minute exercise. Just close your eyes and allow yourself to feel, how does it feel to be me right now? What's the sensation in my body? Is there tensions? Is there something that I need to change right now in order to feel better? And if you start investigating the feeling of your body, you can even ask, what could I do right now in order to give myself pleasure? Maybe that would be to caress my face or feel my hair. You can just get encouraged. And maybe you can do this with another person, like we can caress each other. So I think this is the biggest trick of our society today, is that we're so busy on how we look and we forget how we feel. So it's a very, very little simple thing, actually.
It's a great exercise you shared with us, and I suggest to everybody to go through this practice maybe on daily basis. Even when we are taking shower, wash our hair and wash our body. Yes, this would be my practice. So either in one or in two.
We do things every day. Shower. Yeah, yeah. Like the face or put clothes on the body. So why not do it as a sacred experience of honoring the body, which is actually the temple where we live in, honoring us around in everyday life. Like just a little hint, like I really don't like doing the dishes. I don't
Okay.
have a machine. I have to do it with my hands. And it's just something I want to get it over with. Like I love cooking, but I really don't like doing the dishes. And then I became aware of this at some point, like why to do it and feel irritated, and I do it quickly. So now I started to do my dishes without the brush,
Uh-huh.
to wash my plates and my glasses with my hands, and then enjoying the feeling with my hands on the dishes and the warm water and the foam from the soap. And it became a pleasurable thing. And if I
Wow.
put this little trick into the washing of thinking, oh my God, when I touch this plate, it's the skin of my lover, then it's almost erotic. And yeah, I don't manage, honestly, I don't manage to do this every time, but sometimes I do it.
It's a
And it's
matter
more
of
fun.
practice. Everything a matter
Yeah,
of practice.
it's about making it into a game. And yeah.
If you if you could advise to people who are looking for this first experience with a tantra therapist, what are the ways to find your therapist? What is the way to find the studio? Because all of this is very personal, individual. We are all different. So, if I start to Google now people in my city where I want to go to have this experience, how can I choose the best option for me?
Yeah,
Is there a way you follow your feeling or?
I think it's very important to investigate different options, of course, and then to really go with your gut feeling, because there's so many different offers today, and some are better than others, of course. Some match better with others. Like, so I think it's important to go with what do you feel drawn to, what feels good in your stomach, what feels good in your heart. And of course, you can also ask around, like for references, and make sure that the studio or the teacher you find or the school that you find has a good reputation, good references, and so on. Because I think a keyword in starting to investigate or practice tantra is to feel safe. Like, don't start with a teacher or a massage therapist if you feel like, oh my, there's something fishy here, or you heard
Okay.
bad rumors and things, because some are very genuine, authentic, honest, good people who are, teaching tantra, and they have like their life balanced, so they are an example of what they teach. And some people themselves were just curious and took a weekend course because they are very curious themselves about tantra, and then they offer tantra. Like, I've met people who just like, they got one massage and then they claim to be a tantra masseur themselves, and then it's much more a focus for them to get something themselves and actually being on a level where you can start offering genuine teachings to others. So really be sure that you choose with your heart, your gut feeling, but also ask around, check for references with other people and on Google, of course.
And maybe, like you said, it's good to have this first experience just with one-to-one with a teacher, like a tantra massage, just to see if I'm not freaking out, if I feel good about it, if like I run
Yeah,
away.
yeah.
Did you have actually any funny experience as a therapist during tantra uh,
Mm.
session? Anything that stayed in your mind?
I think I had very many different experiences, both like as a tantric couple therapist and as a tantra masseur, and like this of like meeting people from such a deep and honest level. Sometimes it also become comic, right? Because it's like you let go of your guard. Like, I myself, I'm very open, I'm very much me when I'm teaching or if I'm having clients. So sometimes we just like end up laughing deeply, because things can become very, very funny. Like, I offer sessions for couples so they can learn to give each other tantra massage. And I had one moment with a couple that was like so sweet, like, it was a woman. I was teaching the woman to give massage on her husband. And this feeling of like we are two women sitting at his feet, and this connection of like we are kind of sisters or friends, and we were whispering not to disturb his massage. But then we got eye contact, and she was whispering in such a funny way that we just ended up cracking of laughing of like we're crawling on his legs, and we started playing, and it became completely unserious of like now we are little animals on his body, and it became such a sisterhood feeling of like, okay, we're just like playing with this guy lying there like. And it was very beautiful because in the beginning she was a little bit shy and is this awkward, oh my god, we're almost naked and can we do this. And I always make sure to have this connection with my clients of making them feel safe, and we can have fun. It's not so serious now, we're very spiritual people, and like, so I think it's important, this human aspect of relaxing and joking. And yeah, I'm a very funny person, so I end up laughing always with my clients in different ways.
Do you also do it online? Can people learn Tantra with you online? Is it possible?
Not the massage, but I mean, Tantra is many things. The massage is just like one aspect. Sometimes I have online Tantra classes, like for couples. I even had like a tantric online course that I made. And if people live, in other countries or in the opposite end of the country, I do make Skype sessions of guiding, like a therapy session or like tantric counseling if you just want like exercises and good advices. So some things you can do online.
So how many classes, sessions on Skype would we need in order to get this feeling of indulgement into Tantra?
I usually say at least 3 sessions.
3 sessions.
To kind of to get a good feeling of it. Like, you're always welcome to just order or to book one session just to have a feeling, a flavor, and to see if the connection is there, because it's important you feel good with your teacher. But I would say in order to reach a minimum of experience, 3 sessions are good, no matter if you're alone or in a couple relationship. And then we can design together, what do you want to learn the most in your life right now, because it's different. Some people want more energetic exercises of feeling things in their body, and some want spiritual connection, some wants to enhance their sexual life. So this we can find out together, like what do we want to learn, and then we create a program, so to say, together. Because I have so many things like knowledge and exercises, so it can be very different for many people of what they need.
Now it came to my mind, I suddenly started thinking of Kundalini energy, and I do Kundalini yoga and I love it. And there is sometimes something waking up in me. Is it also present in Tantra when you do these sessions? Is it connected to Kundalini energy you have inside of you?
Yeah, it can be, but for some people it's very accessible, and for some people it will take much longer time to open that kind of energy. And I'm very like intuitive, like where are people and how ready are they. So you can awaken this vital energy in the body and awaken Kundalini and allow it to flow in the body. But if people are very stuck and they have traumas or they are blocked and they are not ready, I would never force such a process in their body.
I'm thinking now, is any preparation possible in order to improve the whole process? So people who never meditated or never did yoga, never did any energetic work, if they at least start with small steps, is the experience of Tantra then better?
Yeah. I mean, the more cleansed your body is, like if you eat a pure diet, the more you know yourself. Like if you did personal development things or you did therapy, then of course you're more open-minded. And if you already have a practice of meditation, yoga, mindfulness, or something alike, your body will be more open. So if you come completely unexperienced, you might not have the biggest or most intense experience at first. But then that can be the first step, like to come and have a therapy counseling or a massage, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
And 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 also I must say, like, I did have people coming for the massage that were pretty old, like 70 plus, who never did anything in their life in a spiritual or energetic matter, and they were smokers and eating meat and living a kind of normal life. And even with that kind of people, I have had amazing experiences of them, like full body energy moving in the body and crying from suddenly feeling their soul and things. So again, like, maybe there are no manual or rules of how is this working. Like, if you're ready, you're ready. Like, I would never expect like a 70 or 75-year-old man to have like a full blown spiritual orgasm, but it did
Amazing.
happen in my arms. So yeah.
Wow, amazing. What about negative energies? You know, when you feel stressed, when you have this aggression and anger inside of you, if you practice Tantra, can you keep it better under control? Can you feel better energies inside of your body? Is it possible?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like, what happens when you start working with your energy, even with yoga or tantra, you will calm down your nervous system. And then even if you have a period of stress or life is in a crisis, it will be easier to kind of get back on track. It's like I also have periods of my life where work is stressful or life is confronting with things like, and then I find it easier, like I can quicker come back to me if I meditate and if I breathe deep, and because my awareness is bigger than it was before. So I don't have such a long period where my nervous system is out of balance because I know what to do to bring myself back. Um, yeah. So you can say the awareness becomes bigger, and it also helps to know what to do so you don't just run around chaotically and become a victim of your life situation, but you can actually welcome the crisis. You can welcome, oh my God, what's going on? Something is not in balance or in harmony. Like, what should I do? And then you investigate and find solutions instead of like sweeping the problems under the carpet, like
Mhm.
many people would do. Like, if you're stressed, like, oh my God, I cannot deal with this. And then you just try to suppress the problem. And this became a practice of me. Like, I face life with whatever comes. Like, Tantra is not only about pleasure and magic and let's make love, and like it's also about looking at your deepest wounds and your inner darkness, your shame, your anger, your jealousy. Like, it's again, like I said in the very beginning, it's about embracing the whole spectrum of what life is like. Yeah. Like, when I was young, I only wanted the light. Oh, let's meditate. Let's just connect with God, and life is beautiful. But like, life happens, right? Like, shit comes up or shit comes to you. Like, what to do? Like, yeah, life is not pretty every day. So
Mm.
even that can become a practice. Like, it's not just sunshine all the time, but it's beautiful if you allow it to be. Like, you grow if you dare to open. So tantra is also about releasing traumas and looking at your own shame, and yeah, and free yourself from all your limitations. And yeah.
My belief is there would be no sunshine, or we wouldn't see sunshine if we didn't experience the darkness.
Mm,
And as much as I don't wish anybody to experience the darkness, I'm aware that we need to go through it in order to grow ourselves as a person
mm,
and for our partner, for the family, for friends, for the society. And after talking to you now, I have such a strong belief that Tantra is the right aspect of life to live and experience. It's so beautiful. I feel it in all my body. And I'm so energized just hearing you. And I will be putting your website into Magda Connect's comments on Facebook and YouTube. Maybe you could also come with some book suggestions or some material people could relate to. And I will be also putting it into comments.
Yeah, sure. You, I have a little in my throat.
I think your neck chakra is clearly.
or dust because it's moved into a new home and everything is in a new sense. Like, do you want me to come with the recommendations for books now, or you meant
if you have any idea, even for later on, for our community, because I know that sometimes people want to start small and maybe read a book, go. Your website is in Danish, but for anybody who wants to dig into your topic, I think it's not a problem to translate it into English. And even connect with you for more questions. So, and if anybody has any Tantra related questions, we would even answer later on. Yes.
Sure. And it's for me completely okay in English. So if anybody would write me an email or they can also connect with me on Facebook, it's completely okay in English. And I know books both in Danish and in English that I can inspire in a tantric way of living or a tantric couple relationship way of living. So yeah.
Beautiful. I see some questions in Russian. So I speak Russian, but if there are any questions we could answer in English, we will do it later. So Celestine, I thank you with all my heart for this beautiful lunch. It was really yummy.
Yeah.
Beautiful experience.
A lunch of words.
Lunch of sensuality, words, and beautiful water. I will have now a different look perspective when I do things. Thanks to you. And I wish you a wonderful day. I hope we will connect again. And I say thank you to everybody who was watching us. There were many viewers. Any questions, guys, ask and we will respond. And we wish you a beautiful day, full of sensuality, awareness, and love. Bye.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Ciao.